It's only the third time in the history of Detroit where they've hosted an NFL game and a World Series game on the same day, 1940, 1984, and fans can walk over later as these stadiums are side by side, go from Ford Field to see the Tigers try and survive against the Giants in Game 4 of the World Series on Fox.
Well, and if my memory serves me correctly, as a high school kid in 1984, the Tigers did win it in that year in 84, the last time it happened.
Hoping for a turnaround. That's what the Lions are hoping for. Back home. This is only their third home game this season.
Yeah, the schedule maker's not nice to them. 4 of their first 6 on the road. But the silver lining to that is if they can fix some of their issues, their last 7 games, 5 of them to finish the season are here in Detroit.
Lions won the toss. They want the football at home. So the Seahawks and Steven Hauska will kick it off. One of the air vents knocking the ball off the tee. It was cold and windy last night for the Tigers and Giants. Thank goodness Ford Field and closed so fans can enjoy a matchup between two teams hoping to compete as we are nearing the halfway point of the NFL season. It'll be the 7th game for the Lions, 8th game for the Seahawks, who have yet to have their bye. And we are happening in Detroit. Logan will down it, and Detroit will take over on the 20-yard line. So Matthew Stafford, and that's what he wants to be called, Matthew, not Matt. The number's not all that far off, as you mentioned, but needs the team around him to step up.
Well, he's gotten more and more out of his run game, and Michael LeSure in 2 of the last 3 games. They have lost Nate Burleson, so Titus Young is going to have to step up. The offensive line, nobody's talking about him, Chris, but they have played much better over the last 2 or 3 games. Big challenge for them today against a very talented and fast Seattle defense.
And tackle Jeff Backus, his 183rd consecutive game. He's playing in today. LeSure the back at 1st and 10 Lions. Stafford is going deep. And incomplete for Calvin Johnson. Richard Sherman working right there with him, and we'll get to that Seattle secondary, but starting up front, Chris Clemens, Red Bryant, there's some meat on the ends that put pressure on.
Yeah, they can really play now, and I worry for the Lions in their pass protection against those defensive ends, especially Chris Clemens with 7 sacks on a synthetic field. The linebackers, outstanding, young, fast linebackers. Bobby Wagner right in the middle, and then the secondary, the biggest in the NFL, and they are playing outstanding.
LeSure carries on 2nd down and maybe gets 3. Leroy Hill from the linebacker spot comes up and makes the tackle.
And I think you got to help Matthew Stafford with the running game. They've been in far too many 3rd and 6, 7 plus 3rd and long situations. Seattle does as good a job as anybody in the NFL in forcing those tough situations. So the running game is going to have to be big today. And I think they have found something in Michael LeSure, who's played well.
Kevin Smith is active. He was not in the Monday night loss of the Bears. He's in the game, Mr. Reliable. And again, no Nate Burleson, who's been a go-to guy for Matthew Stafford.
Matchup right there. Bruce Irvin.
On 3rd and 7. He has time, and here comes a flag on the other side of the field. Catch is made by Titus Young. John Perry is our referee, former high school quarterback.
Priority pass, illegal use of hands, number 39, defense. That penalty will be declined as the resulting play. 1st and 10, Detroit.
It was on Brandon Browner, and so the 9-yard catch, they don't need to take the penalty.
And these guys will beat you up at the line of scrimmage. They are so physical. They play a lot of press. But that's how you get them now. You use your big receiver, you attack them, get them moving their feet. Brandon Browner, as you saw there, fouled and then fell down.
Fresh set of downs for Stafford and the Lions, opening drive. And flips through the hands of LeSure. And that penalty significant. It's like an umpire calling balls and strikes early in a game. If the officials are going to call it tight in the secondary, that's advantage Detroit the way the Seahawks play.
Yeah, no doubt. And the Seahawks, as I said, will rough you up more than anybody with those big physical corners. But slow starts, problem for the Detroit Lions. And Seattle, conversely, on the defensive side of the ball, they have started red hot. It's a big spot for the Lions here to get that confidence going.
On 2nd and 10. Stafford protected, goes underneath to the shore. He's brought down just across the 35-yard line. And that's one of the things that Jim Schwartz said. We have to start fast. You know, we've been battling back in games and piling up a lot of yardage late. But if we start out better, that record will turn around.
Chris, they got 1 touchdown and 10 field goals in the first half of games. And there's the number right there. You look at them in the first 3 quarters. In pro football, of all 32 teams, they're the worst by far in scoring in the first 3 quarters. Now they get to the 4th quarter, they're the best in the NFL.
Kevin Smith goes to the top of your screen as a receiver on 3rd down.
Ryan Broyles got to do something here.
Pass goes underneath, well short of the 1st down. Titus Young is brought down right away by Richard Sherman, who leads the Seahawks with 3 interceptions, and the drive stalls and the crowd waiting to erupt here at Ford Field, but the Lions forced into a 4th down punt attempt.
And get all of your man beater routes dialed up if you're the Detroit Lions, because they'll see more man coverage in this game, I promise you, than they've seen all year.
Nick Harris, Leon Washington from the 20. Leon tries to get a move on. It's thrown back down at the 20-yard line. Osgood, Kasim Osgood, one of those special team stars, making the play after a 42-yard punt. We're going to look at Russell Wilson of the Seahawks on offense in a moment. Hi, Chris Myers here at Ford Field. Seahawks on offense from their own 23 on 1st and 10. In 7 games this season, they've scored on their first possession offensively 5 times. Russell Wilson's throw, there's a flag down. Catch is made. Golden Tate with a Seattle 1st down pending the flag.
It looks like Vandenbosch offside over at his right end position.
Offside, defense, number 93, penalties decline. Result of the play, 1st and 10.
And you know what? They got to get away from these types of mistakes. Here's Vandenbosch here. There is nothing, in my opinion, that really signaled him to go early. He guessed, he anticipated on the snap count. That's 13 offside penalties on this defense this year, by far the most in the NFL. You can't make things easier on this rookie quarterback. And those pre-snap mistakes do exactly that.
After an 18-yard pickup, 1st down Seahawks. Wilson's throw through the hands of Marshawn Lynch. 2nd down from the 41-yard line. Russell Wilson, 8 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, completing 59% of his passes. He stands more at 5'10", but he can find the throwing lanes.
Yeah, and he's got to get Sidney Rice going early in this game. And they need yards after the catch with those receivers and tight ends. They're the worst in the NFL at getting yards after they catch it. Those inside 3, the 2 guards in the center, Max Unger, big challenge against those 2 defensive tackles that can nullify your inside run game.
Russell fakes, throws, open and incomplete. There's a flag down through the hands of Zach Miller. Flag down at the 43. Already a penalty gave the Lions a 1st down when they had the football. Detroit has had a penalty nullified or turned down. Let's see what John
There are
Perry.
2 fouls in the play, both on the defense. Offside, number 99. That penalty is declined. Holding, number 26. That penalty will be enforced. 5-yard penalty with an automatic 1st down.
They're going to take the hold on Delmas in the secondary, but you just talked about the defensive line. You're the home team, and Corey Williams can't do what Kyle Vandenbosch
did.
That's
now 14 offside on the Detroit Lions defense. And there's the hold. Louis Delmas out there on Anthony McCoy. He was trying to run an out route.
Gunther Cunningham, defensive coordinator for Jim Schwartz, will be all over those guys when they hit the sideline. Marshawn Lynch is smothered. It'll bring up 2nd down, and Corey Williams, who had the call a moment ago that was declined, led the charge.
And here's the key today. Penetration front side versus this inside run game. You have to get the penetration as a defensive tackle. That is perfect by Corey Williams, who's been dealing with a bit of a knee injury, but gets a big tackle for loss there. I'm telling you, those 2 defensive tackles will play a huge role in defeating that run game today.
2nd and 12. Wilson, quick pass. Sidney Rice goes nowhere. fact, he may lose a yard. And Chris Houston up from the corner, and that beat-up secondary made the play. Bill Bentley out, Jacob Lacey out, Amari Spivey is out. And that secondary hoping to hold up against the rookie quarterback.
And another negative play. He's all over it, Chris Houston. He's sensing just a quick rocket screen out there to Sidney Rice, who takes one step back. Look at Chris Houston all over it. The Lions, a top 3 defense in forcing yards, or forcing plays, and making tackles behind the line of scrimmage. Seen 2 of them on this drive.
3rd and 15 from the 40. Underneath, pass complete. Golden Tate short of the first down. And Seattle forced into a punting situation. Both teams move the ball. Penalties called on the opposing defense, and having to punt.
Well, that's a win for the Lions defense, because if you go back and research Seattle in their first 7 games and what they've done on opening drives, they've scored on 5 of them, and they've been in position to score on the other 2 and miss field goals. So good stuff there for the Lions defense, forcing the punt.
Super steady John Ryan back to punt, and Stephon Logan, who's fumbled 3 times in the last 5 quarters of football, will wave the fair catch signal. And from the 12-yard line, there is a flag down way back at the 43 of Seattle after a 37-yard punt. These 2 teams been penalized quite a bit. The flags have been flying early.
It's like Willie Young is down there pleading his case, trying to get some explanation on what this penalty is.
And important in the field position game. Lions otherwise would be at their own 12, trying to dig out of a hole against Pete Carroll's defense.
Well, Pete may want to take this, move it up 5.
Illegal formation on the defense. He was lined up over the center, which is a 5-yard penalty, which will result in a first down.
Oh. Another self-inflicted wound. Same story for the Lions all season long. We've seen penalties already in this game. And when you get over and you got a center who's snapping right there, what's going on here? Snapping right there is you can't line up over him. You've got to get in the gap. Willie Young needs to be over here in the gap, not lined up over the center. That's a clear foul.
50 penalties on Jim Schwartz's team this season, not counting the ones that have been declined. So he's got a reason to be hot. It's stunning that a guy who's so disciplined and organized as Jim Schwartz and his team and his players would be sloppy in those situations. First down from the 44 of Detroit.
There's another one. Watch the ball if you're a defensive lineman. Nick Fairley, you're lined up right over it. It's right in front of you. You go on ball movement, not on the cage.
Encroachment, defense, number 98, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Is he hard counting him?
It doesn't matter. You're a defensive tackle. Watch the ball. No. There was no hard count there at all.
1st and 5 from now the 39 of Detroit.
You gotta go, Clark.
Seahawks on the move.
55.
Marshawn Lynch. They do a good job of keeping him in check. Over 650 yards rushing, averaging 4.5 a carry. Has had back problems, and that's probably from carrying the load of this Seattle offense, which has thrown the fewest passes of any NFL team on average coming in.
Yeah, and Lynch, what an asset. And he's just going to pound it at you, and it's all going to be in between the tackles. A rare outside run for Marshawn Lynch.
Hey, four man.
He just doesn't go down. He's one of the top backs in the league at yards after contact. Lions got to get him by the hips. You get him high or low, you're going to get run over.
Russell Wilson, quick throw to Sidney Rice. Chris Houston all over him. It is good enough for a first down. That defensive line, you've already met some of the Lions because they've been called for penalties. But Ndamukong Suh, whether you like him or not, is having a terrific season.
Well, this whole defensive line, you go over the last 2 or 3 games, and they have controlled the game. They'll need to do it today. Ashley Palmer starting for DeAndre Levy, and then the secondary wounded on the back end, playing with a couple of backups.
First down throw, complete. That's the tight end, Zach Miller. Zach Miller, a guy second on the team in catches. They don't get the ball to their receivers quite a bit in this passing game. Former Pro Bowler who is coming on for Pete Carroll.
Well, I look, when you look at the contract he got, a lot of people can't make sense of his production because it hasn't been great. He's been a huge asset in the run game. as a blocker, and I expect him to have a big impact on this game. Backup outside linebacker, backup safety. He should have a lot of targets in this one.
Doug Baldwin inactive, still out with the ankle injury for the Seahawks. On 2nd and 4, Wilson hesitates and completes. This is to Anthony McCoy, the backup tight end, former USC Trojan. It's a first down. Let's get a game break. Say hi to Kurt Menefee.
Well, hello, Chris. Another tight end making noise for the Steelers, Ben Roethlisberger, picking up on 4th and goal with Leonard Pope. Only his 2nd catch of the year. That put them on top of the Skins 7-0. Pretty results in those ugly uniforms. Chris and Tim.
We couldn't help but notice, Kurt, they look like beekeepers or something, those throwback Steeler uniforms. After a gain of 14, 1st and 10. There goes Marshawn Lynch from the 14, down inside the 6-yard line. We talked about the slow starting Lions on offense. Seattle gets the ball moving. Usually it's with Marshawn Lynch, but they've mixed it up nicely with the pass.
Well, I like the short passing game. Attack that wounded secondary of the Lions. And look at what they've done in 5 of their opening 7-game possessions. The other 2 were missed field goals. And this one, of course, extended because of the penalties with the Lions on defense.
Golden Tate and Sidney Rice to the left, top of your screen from the 6-yard line. And excellent defense on Marshawn Lynch. Kyle Vanden Bosch and Cliff Averill, those wide defensive ends, making the play.
Well, I told you what it's all about. You got to get, here's the front side, so you got to get penetration to the front side, and then the backside guys have to stay on their feet versus this inside running attack. So there's the penetration, forces it back. There's the backside guys staying on their feet to clean it up, and just another negative play tackled behind the line of scrimmage forced by this Lions defense.
These are the 2 best defenses when it comes to the red zone, keeping people out. The Lions a strength on 3rd down.
And Seattle's been awful, 2nd to the worst in the league at punching it in.
Wilson's throw to Golden Tate. He will not have a first down. Caught the ball but was shoved the other way by Alphonso Smith. Picked up just prior to the Monday night game last week with all the injuries in the Lions secondary. So Seattle has to settle for a field goal try.
Nice start for Russell Wilson, though. 7 of 8. He's had 2 drops. The one was play didn't count because of the penalty, but Marshawn Lynch dropped the other pass.
A lot of it short and underneath. They wanted to get the ball in the hands of Tate and Rice. 23-yard field goal try. Remember, Lawrence Jackson had a block Monday night against the Bears. But this one, no chance. Seattle strikes first here at Ford Field with the aid of penalties and the short passing game. The Seahawks lead 3-0. Here in Detroit, Stephon Logan, who has a kickoff return for a touchdown of 105 yards, joined back there by Kevin Smith, the running back on the other side of the field.
And Stephon Logan's got to get it cranked up and get it going. Look, a few years ago, he was one of the better return guys in the NFL. They've gotten virtually nothing in terms of big plays out of the return game. And then on the other side, their coverage, both covering punts and kicks, has been awful. It's not just offense and defense that has played a role in the 2 and 4 start. Those special teams have got to step up.
Housegood follows the field beyond the 20-yard line. Cam Chancellor, starting safety and playing special teams, making the play. Lions offense hoping to catch fire after the defense held Seattle to 3.
Today's game is sponsored by KFC. Come in today and taste why fresh is better. By the Samsung Galaxy S3. The next big thing is already here. And by PlayStation Vita. Experience Assassin's Creed free. Liberation now in your hands. Rated M for mature.
Here in Detroit, Lions start at their own 18-yard line, having to travel a long distance, something that they've had trouble with when it comes to producing
Yeah,
points.
look at that. 0 points when starting inside your own 20, and that directly links up with the lack of firepower in the return game.
With Shore tries to get across the 21-yard line. Chancellor comes up to make the stop. We mentioned Nate Burleson is out, who broke his leg. Very popular former Seattle Seahawk among other teams, but they're going to miss not only his production on the field, but his enthusiasm and energy in the huddle.
Well, very underrated player, and a guy who over the years has given him 65, 70 catches and 5 or 6 touchdowns. So who steps up? Titus Young, obviously the guy that's got to get in there and make it happen. Ryan Broyles as well. the rookie. I expect more out of Tony Scheffler in this game, kind of playing that third wide receiver role.
On 2nd and 7 across the 25-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd and short. In fact, Pete Carroll cautious about the speed of Tony Scheffler and said if they feature him more, we got to keep an eye on where he goes, and he may be in the slot quite a bit. Broyles had his coming out party on Monday night, his first NFL touchdown catch in that game.
And Pete Carroll knows his defense is very good in run defense, but they got gashed by the 49ers last week. Frank Gore had a huge day, and a lot of it was right up the gut in between the tackles. So we've seen a few nice runs here for LeSure already.
On 3rd and 2, Stafford to throw. Underneath, LeSure fighting hard. Right at the first down marker. Seahawk defensive players are very well aware of where the markers are and the goal line are, even though it looked like he got enough for the first down, but they were shoving him the other way.
That was a nice job by LeSure getting past the first down sticks. They ran man beaters in front of him with the wideouts, crossing routes. He leaked out and got past the first down stick, got the ball, and got knocked back, but he was already far enough, past the first down marker that they gave him his forward progress.
So just beyond the 29-yard line.
Under.
Underneath again at the 36-yard line is Brandon Pettigrew, his 32nd catch of this season. Now remember, Calvin Johnson, who they tried deep on their opening series, bothered by a sore knee this week, missed some practice time, but he's going to shoulder the load. I'm still amazed that he and Matthew Stafford have not connected on a touchdown pass this year. His one touchdown catch came from backup Sean Hill.
Yeah, and you know what? On top of that is he's been tackled 6 times inside the 5-yard line, 3 times inside the 1. It's shocking that he's only got 1 touchdown 6 games in, game number 7 here today.
There's that Browner 6'4" against Calvin 6'5" matchup. They run to LeSure, straight up the gut. LeSure into Seahawk territory. Michael LeSure came in averaging 3.9 a carry. Remember, he missed the first 2 games because of a suspension. Picks up 17 yards.
Yeah, and watch the block by his center, Dominic Raiola, on Brandon Meebank. I mean, he just widens him out and creates a big running lane, and that's what I just talked about with where the 49ers hit him. Right up the gut. There are some cracks to be exploited.
Stafford, after faking, throwing and open inside the 35, inside the 30 is Ryan Broyles. 2nd round draft pick out of Oklahoma. 19-yard pickup.
Love the patience by Matthew Stafford, and then the feel of the rookie Ryan Broyles, who's not the biggest guy, not the fastest guy, but he's a great field player in terms of knowing where to sit down. Stafford had Pettigrew underneath early, and then his patience, he waits it out, and Ryan Broyles finds a soft spot in the zone and sits it down for a big first down.
Already in field goal range, the Lions want more from the Seattle 29-yard line. 1st and 10.
Yeah. Come to you, dog.
Stafford wide open inside the 10-yard line is Tony Scheffler. After a gain of 20, they hurry to the line. It'll be 1st and goal Lions.
Tony Scheffler, and I don't know about you, but his lack of impact in this offense has been unbelievably surprising, especially since the offensive coordinator, Scott Linehan, has said many times he really thinks he can be a feature guy, a go-to guy.
LeSure down to the 6-yard line. It'll be 2nd and goal for the Lions. Their best scoring threat of the afternoon. Scott Linehan calling the offensive plays for Jim Schwartz, former head coach with the Rams, as the first quarter is winding down.
And we all know the issue for Scott Linehan and his offense. It's not moving the ball. They're a top 4 offense in the league. Matthew Stafford's actually on pace for close to 5,000 yards again. It's the turnovers down here in the scoring position and some key drops that have really hurt him.
That's Broyles and Calvin Johnson at the bottom of your screen.
Watch Scheffler up top.
He looks left, goes that way, high, but Broyles has it. It's a Lions touchdown. And that's who steps up for Nate Burleson.
Well, 3 catches last week. Calvin's going to bring everybody with him, and then watch Ryan Broyles. Look at the 2 guys go with Calvin Johnson deep. Not a great throw from Matthew Stafford, but Ryan Broyles, look at him climb the ladder and go get it, and then get it over the plane, the goal line plane for the touchdown. Very nice catch.
Jason Hanson at age 42, the longtime Lion, to try the extra point and give the Lions a 4-point first quarter lead here at Ford Field. An 82-yard drive, and this time the Lions come through on the touchdown toss from Stafford to Broyles. That's the end of the first quarter here in the Motor City. The rookie Ryan Broyles hauls in the touchdown pass, again capping a 9-play, 82-yard drive. And for the Seahawks, they'll make adjustments defensively with that short passing game of Stafford. Lions, Jason Hanson ready to kick off. And Leon Washington, who's dangerous, ready to return. From the end zone, here comes Leon. Knocked down short of the 25-yard line. John Wendling making the special teams play. Seahawks will be on offense, trailing 7-3. Matthew Stafford with only his 6th touchdown pass of the year, and this his 7th game. Tim Ryan, Chris Myers, downtown Detroit, the place to be. On first down from the 23, that's the rookie, 3rd-round pick out of Wisconsin, who took the job away from Matt Flynn, who was signed as a free agent. The pitch to Marshawn Lynch, and he's got room. First down, and there goes Lynch. Marshawn Lynch. I don't think anybody could catch him. It's a touchdown, Seattle. 77 yards.
Well, watch what happens out here on the flank. You're going to get a crack down here and then another one on the linebacker. No one expecting Lynch to go to the outside. They're able to crack it down and get those linebackers smashed. A good block by Michael Robinson. And now Marshawn Lynch off to the races. Not a lot of 20-plus yard runs for Marshawn Lynch on the season, but as an offensive line, you're knocking defenders to the ground. Makes it easy for the running back. Guys can't get up and go chase him. Great blocking on that play.
It's the longest play of the year for Seattle, and for Marshawn Lynch, 77 yards, a career best. His 3rd touchdown of the season, and just like that, the Seahawks are back on top. A tough runner, but the speed he showed impressive.
He's not known for his long speed and making house calls of 70-plus yards, but credit his receivers, his tight ends, and his offensive line. Getting the Lions blockers on the ground, of course, ruined any chances they have of going and chasing him down.
And Logan will down it, so the Lions will come out to the 20-yard line. Gunther Cunningham, the defensive guru for Jim Schwartz, trying to fire his team up. Here on Fox, doubleheader football, and then the World Series tonight. Stafford on first down, having a run around and runs right into trouble. Brought down at the 7-yard line by Brandon Mebane, and there's a lot of Mebane.
It's Big Red Bryant right here that forced him out, but watch Mebane kind of slow play it and then peel around the outside and be a contained player. Matthew Stafford has no idea that he's there. There's Red Bryant, who's going to get some push. Andre Branch, now he's going to spin out. And Mebane, because he was on a pass rush stunt with his defensive end, became a contained player who's going to do the big shake.
The big shake. Okay, it's
big.
We've seen the beast.
Or the big wiggle, maybe.
With Marshawn Lynch, his run.
Call that the big wiggle.
All right, 20th sack of the season. Seahawks have had a sack in every game this year. On 2nd and 22, the Shore. At the 10-yard line, it'll be 3rd down. Let's check in on the Redskins and Steelers with Kurt Menefee.
Well, the Skins going for it on 4th and goal, down 10-0. RG3 finding Santana Moss to score. The extra point was blocked, and so it's now a 10-6 ball game early on in the 2nd quarter. Back to Detroit, Tim Ryan and the face of Foxtoberfest, Chris Myers.
Yeah, you working again tonight? You pulling double duty again?
Foxtoberfest. This Fox is the place to be. You just put it on and sit on your couch and watch football, World Series, and the Beastquake, or whatever you call that, the belly shake. And a penalty flag here.
Ball start, number 67, offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Backing themselves up even further. 4th penalty that's been accepted on the part of the Lions. There have been 2 or 3 others that have been declined.
And we've seen already the look on the face of Jim Schwartz. He is agitated at his football team and their self-destruction early in this game.
So now 3rd and 24.
And this is just going to kill their field position unless they can get a nice chunk here.
They go underneath. It's Pettigrew who gives the punter some room. Nick Harris will have a little more opportunity as Marcus Trufant, backup defensive back, the longtime Seahawk. Of course, this was where the Seattle Seahawks played Super Bowl 40 in this building against the Steelers. And Pete Carroll trying to get Seattle back into the postseason. Nick Harris to punt it. Leon Washington back to return from the 36-yard line of Seattle, but he's got some room. Dancing up to the 45 before he's knocked backwards by a swarm of Detroit Lions. After a 46-yard punt, here come the Seahawks and Marshawn Lynch. It took him 8 seconds to go 77 yards to give the Lions the lead. Tim Ryan, Chris Myers, we have Jamie Maggio on the field here at Ford Field. The Seahawks behind Marshawn Lynch getting a breather. They built a 10-7 lead from their own 44-yard line. Robert Turbin, the rookie from Utah State, is in at running back. Russell Wilson from the pocket going deep. And a one-handed try. Here comes a flag after Golden Tate almost hauled that in. Jonte Green, the rookie, covering.
Yeah, Jonte Green was in perfect position. He just never turned his head to locate the ball. And if you turn your head to locate, you can have incidental contact. If you don't and you have contact, they're going to get you with pass interference. Everything was great until the very end when he never flipped his head to locate the football.
Defense, number 36, with an arm bar. Automatic 1st down at the spotted foul.
It's worth repeating, Tim. No Jacob Lacey, no Bill Bentley. Amari Spivey is out. DeAndre Levy out. And the defense shows it.
Yeah, you see, I mean, he didn't turn his head until the ball was already there, and then he armbarred at the same time. Oh, that's a double whammy for Jonte Green. And what did I tell you on the break? I said I sniff a long ball coming from Russell Wilson. He'll throw 5 or 6 of them a game.
We got to get you to say that on the air. You're an analyst. That's your job. That's what you do.
Hey, I'll handle the jokes. You do the play-by-play.
All right, Robert Turbin goes out of bounds by a 41-yard penalty. Tim, already 61 yards the Lions have given up in penalty yardage. We saw the defensive coordinator. We've talked about how he's the emotional guru. That's the back of Gunther Cunningham.
Well, 30-plus years as a defensive coach in the NFL and as a grinder, and he's ripping those guys. He's saying, look, that long touchdown, they were in 2 running backs and 2 tight ends. They had 1 receiver. Clearly a running play. Problem was they had about 6 guys on the ground who got chopped off their feet. It's a major problem for a defensive coordinator. They hate it when their defenders are on the ground.
Just inside the Detroit 10. Russell Wilson floats one for the end zone, and Evan Moore was back there. No flags, incomplete. That's Anthony McCoy. I'm sorry.
No, you're right. It was Evan Moore in the corner of the end zone. He's going to go out here. Jonte Green giving up a lot in terms of the size mismatch. Plays it perfectly. You see the whole time him locating the ball. There's incidental contact that's legal. Locate the ball, get your hands on him, and go play the football. Well done.
Charlie Martin has come in. He's at the top of your screen with Ben Obamano.
No, he will fight.
Wilson's throwing. Sidney Rice. Touchdown. He made the catch. He stayed in bounds, and the Seahawks on 3rd down get 6.
Well, one thing Russell Wilson can do is he can read man coverage, and he's got a little scissor route or a little crossing route which creates some open space for Sidney Rice. Well thrown ball on time. Perfect. Not going to fool Russell Wilson with a lot of disguise coverages and doing different things with your alignments in the secondary. Very, very bright for a rookie quarterback.
Extra point try. John Ryan, the holder, and Hauschka, who has a field goal earlier with his second extra point. It's now a 10-point advantage after they go 56 yards. The 41-yard penalty helped. But the ninth touchdown pass for Russell Wilson has the Seahawks up 10. You can see the steam building up over in that Lions bench.
Oh, the frustration rages for Gunther Cunningham. And look, it's been 18 minutes of football. Watch this.
He wants to throw it.
He wanted to throw it.
He showed better judgment. Peeled back that playbook. The photos as Hauschka kicks off. The Lion defense coming apart at the seams here.
18 minutes of football, 17 points. That doesn't work.
Penalties have gotten in the way of the Detroit Lions. Sidney Rice, you said he had to get involved for Seattle, and he has with the touchdown catch. In fact, so far Rice has 3 catches. Meanwhile, Stafford has to get the Lions going. Tim, you mentioned at the top, no panic, but a desperate feeling. It's getting more desperate here for Detroit.
Yeah, but you know what? They can't panic at this point. I think they just got to go out. You're down 10. There's all kinds of football left. Your running game's still wide open and going to be effective. You just got to run your game plan.
Stafford completes to Tony Shepler for a first down just short of the 35-yard line.
And we've seen Matthew Stafford move around the pocket a few times today, and I think it's a wise choice from Scott Linehan. I think there's one thing that Seattle can do is they can get after the passer with the strength inside and the speed to the outside. Move the launch point of the quarterback around. Move Matthew Stafford so he's not a sitting duck for that defense. It's been effective.
Lions have already lost a home game this year. This is only their 3rd home game, but it's an NFC opponent. And at 2-4, there's not a lot of wiggle room.
Scheffler on an out route, easy if they want it.
They run to LaShore, who gets across the 35-yard line of the Lions.
I think if you're Matthew Stafford, you got to be judicious in terms of your audibling and your play calling at the line of scrimmage. Pete Carroll, when you show any type of a running formation, he's going to stack the box. Pete Carroll has always done that. He's going to get the extra defender into the running box to make sure he's got a free guy for your runner. That presents one-on-one to the outside. We saw an example of it there. Calvin could easily run a clear out with Scheffler running a quick out. It would have been easy pickings.
Calvin Johnson has not caught a pass today. They attempted a deep throw early. Didn't connect. It's underneath to Pettigrew, who's still going. Inside the 45 of the Seahawks. Brandon Pettigrew from the tight end spot with a gain of 18, and the Lions are on the move.
And this is what I'm talking about. Here's Pettigrew here. He's just going to run an out route. They're going to bring some pressure, Pete Carroll, but he's got Chris Clemens on him, the defensive end. Pete Carroll loves to bring pressure opposite Chris Clemens, get him as a dropper. That time he was on Brandon Pettigrew. To me, that's a mismatch. You've got a prolific tight end in terms of the number and the volume of catches versus a rush defensive end. Way to exploit it.
First down from the 45. LaShore knocked backwards. He'll lose a yard. What a play by the rookie Bobby Wagner. Let's check in again with Kurt Menefee.
Well, you guys were talking about tight ends. Here's a pretty good one. Heath Miller of the Steelers, his league leading for tight ends, 6th touchdown reception. This one made it 17-6 over the Skins. Second quarter. Chris and Tim.
Yeah, how about that story, Kurt and Chris, all offseason that Todd Haley, the new offensive coordinator, never uses a tight end. He's got a good one. He'll use it.
And Roethlisberger has adjusted well there on 2nd and 11 for Stafford from the shotgun. Sidearm throw that goes into the turf. Calvin Johnson was in the neighborhood. It'll be 3rd down.
The beauty of a 4-man rush, and you have 4 guys that can get there, is that you don't need to pressure and send extra guys when a team goes into an empty set, which means 5 out. And we got a little brawl down there.
Well, if you're the Lions, you're at home in what is an important win. Didn't Dominic Raiola call it a must-win?
He said it, and they're going to have to do better. When they're in 5-man protection and Seattle's sending 4, they got to hold up. And they didn't that time. Matthew Stafford had no time to really let things develop, so he had to sidearm it and get it out of there.
Lions need to get to the 35 of Seattle for a first down.
Seattle will rush 3 and drop 8. Try to keep it in front of the sticks and make the tackle.
Stafford going deep. That's Titus Young. It's a touchdown, Lions! A 46-yard touchdown pass on third down from Stafford to Young.
We've been hearing it for a long time. Titus Young is a guy that can take the cap off of a defense and get that safety running in chase mode, and that's exactly what he did. He ran right by the corner, right by the safety. A beautiful throw from Matthew Stafford, who extended the play with his legs.
Two defenses playing well, but we're seeing a lot of points here at Ford Field. Stafford responds with a touchdown toss. Tim, how did Titus Young get behind the defense?
Well, really a clever little move. You see Richard Sherman, his alignment, he's got help to the inside by his safety, Cam Chancellor. But watch this move by Titus Young slipping behind him. And once he got behind him and was able to keep the width into the wide side of the field, it really took the safety out of play. A beautiful throw from Matthew Stafford, but really it was number 16 there, Titus Young. And he's getting all the pats in celebration that made that happen with the release behind the corner.
Doing the Lions lunge, a la the Lambeau Leap.
Well, we asked who steps up with Nate Burleson out and gone for the year with a broken leg. So far, Ryan Broyles, the rookie, with a touchdown, and the second-year player, Titus Young, with a touchdown of his own.
Hanson, Leon Washington. He's deep in the end zone, but coming out. And Leon is going to be brought down right at the 20-yard line. A momentous shift. By the way, for Matthew Stafford, it's his first 2-touchdown pass game of this season. This week, a Fox College football Saturday doubleheader. TCU takes on West Virginia. Then a huge Pac-12 showdown between Oregon and USC with Matt Barkley. That'll be a fun one. Coverage of Fox College football begins Saturday, 2 Eastern, 11 Pacific on Fox. Second round draft pick out of Boise State in his second year.
And he's been dealing with a bad knee, really, since training camp. Good to see that thing's feeling better because he's got some heat running by that corner.
Russell Wilson on first down, throwing on the move and hauled in at the 24-yard line by Golden Tate. Let's see how the Lions defense handles the way Russell Wilson has moved this Seattle team. We talked about how comfortable he was at home. He's won a road game at Carolina, the young quarterback, but he talked about communication being part of that.
And look at the contrast in home versus away. The rating, the touchdowns, the interceptions, the sacks. Pretty good so far here today, though. 9 of 11 with a touchdown, no interceptions. Impressive rookie.
Marshawn Lynch goes nowhere. It'll be third down. Stopped at the 22-yard line. Ashley Palmer playing for DeAndre Levy, who's played well. In fact, the linebackers, Justin Durant and Stephen Tulloch, coming in for Detroit, have been stellar.
Really good. And DeAndre Levy, who's out today with a hamstring, has had his best year by far. So Ashley Palmer, so far, the exception of that long run by Lynch, has been pretty solid.
Hey, 23, bang it! Hey, hold! Hey, run!
Communication, noise on the road. And we're going to get a timeout.
First charge timeout, Detroit. 30-second timeout.
The Lions using a timeout, feeling the momentum. Don't want to lose sight of that. Tim Ryan, Chris Myers, we hope you're enjoying. It's the last October Sunday of NFL football. It's a great venue here at Ford Field. You see our perch, one of those buildings that lets the light in. And let's shine the light on the Detroit season, because at 2-4, this is a game they really have to have.
Well, you said it earlier. Dominic Raiola, the center in his 12th year, said this is a must-win. They got 10 football games left. I think the biggest example that Jim Schwartz gave us yesterday was like, look, the New York Giants last year, the world champions, they were 7-7 at one point in the season. The Packers the year before that, they were 7-7 at one point in the season. They got hot at the right time with their passing game and their defense, and they both ended up being world champions. I don't sense panic at all out of this Lions football team.
Third down test for the Lion defense, and floated incomplete for Marshawn Lynch. The Lions with a stand, forcing Seattle into a fourth down at punt attempt.
And a good call by Gunther Cunningham to dial up the pressure. And it was Stephen Tulloch who came from his middle linebacker position, and Kyle Vandenbosch. You see Gunn there congratulating Tulloch, who had the early pressure on Russell Wilson and couldn't let that play to the running back develop. He had to get it out early.
7:22 to go before the half. John Ryan, a good directional punter, who also can show you some leg. Stephon Logan from the 14-yard line gets across the 20 for Detroit. Is pushed back. Another good special teams play. Mike Morgan making the play for Detroit after a 65-yard punt. Mentioned back here in Detroit, first home game since the passing of Alex Karras, who played 12 seasons for the Lions, a member of the 1960s All-Decade team, 3-time first-team All-Pro, a 4-time Pro Bowl selection, very popular, likable, personable. Passed away a few weeks ago and will be missed, but always remembered by Lions and football fans.
About a couple of the movies that he was in.
Alex Karras, yes, Mongo.
Paper Lion, and when he was Mongo, and Mongo just a pawn in life.
Yeah.
No, Mongo more than a pawn in life for Alex Karras. He was a great one and really brought a lot of visibility to the defensive tackle position back in the day when no one was really looking at him.
Good broadcaster on Monday Night Football. Passes incomplete through the hands of Michael LaSure. A big third down pass play from Stafford to Young, producing a touchdown. And earlier Ryan Broyles catching a touchdown pass, but Sherman was the guy caught, as you pointed out, giving up that score to Young.
I think when I look at this Lions offense, and I think Michael LaSure has got a big future ahead of him.
Come hard now, come on.
Because he looks like the real deal. But they miss that make you miss guy. Don't you think when you look at their offense, the job at best tight end can really make people miss in space? They don't have it.
Time for Stafford, but he can't find anybody. He's dancing around and he's going to get rid of it. Pressure was put on by Branch, but the coverage was very good downfield. It'll bring up third down.
Here's the coverage down the field. Look at Seattle. They got 8 guys in coverage. They only sent 3. So Calvin trying to work his way through the zone defense. Man to the other side on Titus Young. Nowhere to go with Matthew Stafford. Good job by him, though, just getting rid of the ball and not taking the sack.
Kevin Smith is in at running back. Still no catch for Calvin Johnson.
Coming to you, dog.
On 3rd and 10. Stafford underneath to Kevin Smith, but he's going to be short of a first down across the 26-yard line. So now they're going to be forced into a punt situation and imbalance, it seems, on 3rd down for Detroit.
Well, I think a lot of it, Chris, is they've trailed in a lot of games, number one, so you're throwing the ball a lot. And then because of some of the negative plays and the self-destructive plays in terms of the penalties and drops and other things, they've been in a lot of 3rd and long situations. So you're throwing the ball on 3rd down.
Leon Washington back for the Harris punt. And Leon Washington gets up across the 40-yard line, all the way up to the 45 of the Seattle Seahawks. Excellent field position, and when you mention job at best, he was that make you miss guy. You think back to Barry Sanders, not in that category, but added that element, and concussions after concussions have affected him, and he wanted to play this year but has been unable to.
And I think you're going to see within the next week there will be an announcement from the Detroit Lions that job at best has been shut down for the year. And I hope it isn't the case, because he's a very good young player. But something tells me he could quite possibly be the poster child of this new concussion issue. And it's not new, but the concussion issue around the NFL. and may end up, unfortunately, being the first guy that the NFL could possibly tell you can't play anymore because of your concussion history. I hope that doesn't happen.
Marshawn Lynch carries at the 77-yard touchdown run early. You know, I think it should be mentioned with the trade deadline, Tim, coming up on Tuesday. You don't get the sexy big deals like you do in baseball. But it was a couple of years ago, 3 seasons ago in October, where they gave up a 4th-round pick and a conditional pick, and it was a smooth move by Pete Carroll and John Schneider and the Seahawks to get Marshawn Lynch, and he has been the go-to guy ever since.
And very smooth, and he was relatively cheap at the end of his rookie deal coming from the Buffalo Bills, and has since earned himself a fat new contract. It's an outstanding trade for John Schneider and Pete Carroll.
Russell Wilson has it. Throws to the 50-yard line, and Golden Tate is pushed back. It'll bring up 3rd and short. And Marshawn Lynch, I remember telling us at the time, has continued to call it a rebirth in his career in Seattle. Described as a deeply sensitive guy by Pete Carroll, a quiet guy who clowns around and is well liked by his teammates.
Quiet on game day, but an absolute clown during the week of practice, keeping it light for all the guys. His teammates love him.
It's kind of like you. Kick. 3rd and 5 from the 49 of Seattle.
Hey, we're getting the Steeler RET wrong. Run! Go!
Pass is caught by Charlie Martin. He reached the ball forward, but it looks like he is short of the 1st down. Ricardo Silva, the 3rd-string safety, made a spectacular tackle to keep Martin from going forward.
Yeah, and a spectacular throw, in my opinion, from Russell Wilson. And they're going to be short here, who had pressure in his face. You got an unblocked defender, Louis Delmas, coming right here. Russell Wilson sensed it and threw the in-cutting route that came up about a half-yard short.
Always consider the fake in this position, but John Ryan will boot it away and play the field position game in a 3-point game. And back there to down and catch it on the fly for Seattle, making a very good special teams play, was Jeremy Lane. A 42-yard punt, well placed by Ryan.
This is a hard catch now. This is the old not just over the shoulder, over the body. Tilt your head back and watch it in. That was
the say-hey kid there, Jeremy Lane.
The Willie Mays basket catch, right? Over the head. Pete Carroll loves Willie Mays.
That's right. Grew up a Giant fan in the Bay Area and is rooting for the Giants, and Gunther is just rooting for the Lions defense. Well, they've improved since he was ready to throw the playbook. And a great special teams play, part of what the Seahawks do well. Just under 4 minutes to go here before the half. Now the Lions on offense, trailing by 3. His own end zone, Stafford is going to go down just short of the 5-yard line. Big Brandon Mebane wrapped him up. 3 sacks in the game already. Well, that technically would not be a sack, as Stafford tried to move the ball forward to get him out of trouble.
Well, they got Riley Reif in the game, their 1st-round pick out of Iowa, and he comes in as the extra offensive tackle, or extra tight end. They call it the U position. They love to run his way when he's up here on the line of scrimmage. Let's see if they do it here.
Quick throw for the 1st down is Titus Young. And Richard Sherman frustrated. Just over 3 minutes to go. Lions have 2 timeouts. Seattle has all 3.
Here's what I love about this play is it's going right here to this guy, but watch the block by Megatron, the big Calvin Johnson. See him just jack Richard Sherman in a 2-hand shiver and just lifted him off the ground. That was the key to picking up the 1st down and getting the extra yards for Titus Young.
On 1st and 10 after gain of 11. Underneath that hit hard knocked back is LaShore. KJ Wright leading the team in tackles, coming in, made the play. You mentioned Megatron. It was Richard Sherman who tweeted, and he loves to have fun with this kind of stuff, said, "I'm going to be Optimus Prime this week." That was his Twitter handle. obviously in the...
Fill us all in on who Optimus Prime is with the Autobots. Isn't he the good guy that's leading the good Autobots?
Well, other people said that you should let other people give you a nickname. Don't nickname yourself.
Yeah, self-proclaimed? Okay.
I talked to Sherman about the pregame warm-up. He said, I was just having fun with that. It's about stopping the big guy, and we're closer to him than most teams because of how tall we are in the secondary. Pass complete to Scheffler. Brought down at the 25-yard line. But even Pete Carroll didn't necessarily like a lot of the extra chatter.
Pete wishes he would tone it down. He said it's too much. We don't need Richard out there broadcasting, basically branding himself is what you think about. Although Brandon Browner on the other side said he likes when he's talking.
All right, it's going to be 3rd and 1 at the 2-minute warning. I'm trying to sell
You got sign language? What are you doing?
I'm trying to sell him insurance. 2 minutes to go before the half. Tim Ryan, Chris Myers here. 3rd and 1 from the Detroit 25. Stafford's throw complete for a first down. It's Brandon Pettigrew across the 35-yard line. Again, Lions with 2 timeouts. Seattle has 3 as the clock runs. 10-yard pickup exactly for Stafford.
What a great play call. I thought there from Scott Linehan, and even better execution from Matthew Stafford. Running Pettigrew from the other side, man coverage on a little quick out route on KJ Wright. Perfect ball placement from Stafford.
The shore. It's up to the 39-yard line. Cam Chancellor making the play. Seattle started the scoring with a field goal. Then Broyles a touchdown catch. Marshawn Lynch a 77-yard run. And Titus Young with a 46-yard touchdown catch.
Well, they got 2 timeouts left. They're taking too much time here in between plays.
What?
They want to make sure Seattle doesn't get the ball back before the half. Stafford, deep sideline throw. And incomplete. Broyles was well covered.
Well, that was a heave and a prayer from Matthew Stafford. And not a good matchup if you're going to try to throw it up against a 6'4" corner in Brandon Browner against your 5'10" receiver. He's not going to win that rebound too many times, that being Broyles.
Coming up, the Visa halftime report, all the scores and highlights. Kurt Menefee and the guys, and some interesting games with Atlanta trying to stay undefeated against the Eagles. Steelers battling Robert Griffin III, who came in leading the NFL in completion percentage at 70%. On 3rd and 6 here. Pressure coming. Stafford gets rid of it. High and incomplete. He had it. Tony Scheffler in the neighborhood as Stafford gets knocked down. Chris Clemens applied the heat. Not only did they take too much time, they are going to leave time on the clock now with Seattle and their 3 timeouts. Gus Bradley, the Seahawks defensive coordinator.
Clap it up all he wants, but they were beat right there. They did have good pressure and forced it out by Matthew Stafford, but he missed a wide open Scheffler.
Leon Washington waving for the fair catch at the 19-yard line. Foxtoberfest following football here in Detroit. Detroit the place to be, and Fox the place to be. Part of the Foxtoberfest. America's game of the week, the Giants and Eli Manning against the Cowboys. Talk about a desperate team and needing to win, especially in that matchup for Tony Romo, Tom Brenneman, and Troy Aikman with Pam Oliver on the call. And then after that, just stay on your couch. No need to touch the remote. Leave it on Fox because World Series Game 4 from right across the street. Tigers hope to stay alive against those amazing San Francisco Giants.
Well, speaking of the Giants, Eli Manning and the New York Giants. Eli has never lost down in the Jerry Dome, if you will, the Rockstar Stadium with the Dallas Cowboys. And the Cowboys haven't been the same since the highlight of their season, that Week 1 win over those Giants.
Leading by 3. Robert Turbin carries, gets across the 30. And that's going to be good enough for a first down. They have all 3 timeouts, the Seahawks. Let's see how they play.
Yeah, I'm surprised they're not using one here and trying to get it down and get it into field goal range. Looks like they'll be happy to go in with a 3-point lead.
Russell Wilson gets rid of it. Turbin across the 40 with another first down. And here they'll call a timeout. Seattle will have 2 remaining. Let's head down to the field and Jamie Maggio. Hi, Jamie.
Hey, Chris, you know, you were talking about the Richard Sherman Optimus Prime story. Well, Richard Sherman, obviously big fan of the Transformers. He was a little starstruck this week when he got a phone call from the actor Peter Cullen, who is the voice of Optimus Prime in the movie. Richard was so excited. He said, "Can you call back and leave a message on my voicemail? I want to share it with my teammates." The message went like this: "Richard, this is Optimus Prime. When you see Megatron, you must tell him, one shall stand, one shall fall. Wish you the best. Roll out." How about that, guys?
Oh, love it. That's great, Jamie. And boy, Optimus Prime does have, you talk about great voices in sports, and those two, Calvin Johnson does not have a catch in the first half. Meanwhile, Russell Wilson throws to Leon Washington, who gets out of bounds. The Lions have trailed at the half in every game this season. They came back week 1 to beat the Rams here, and then week 5 in overtime they had to rally to beat the Eagles on the road. But it's that start fast, which they put up some points, but they're still trailing. They're going to have to rally.
Here's the problem with them in the first half of this game. It's defensively, and it's really the one big play by Marshawn Lynch that went 77 yards around the corner for a touchdown. Other than that, I think they've been pretty solid.
Leon Washington down near the 40. Looks like we're going to have another timeout by Seattle. They'll have 1 remaining, and you see 12 seconds on the clock.
And Hauschka's long this year, I believe, is 52 yards. So the 34-yard line is where they got to get to his long of the season that he's made.
Yeah, Hauschka made a 57-yarder in this direction in the pregame warm-ups, and you can see the line where they need to get to. Already been a 23-yard field goal in this game. And the Seahawks trying to get to 5-3. Pete Carroll said, hey, we're well rested after the game a week ago Thursday against the 49ers.
And there's something inequitable about that, in my opinion. I mean, you got Seattle, who played a Thursday night game, facing a Lions team who just played Monday night, 4 extra days rest. That doesn't seem fair.
Oh, we're going to get another timeout. This time the Lions.
Charge timeout, Detroit.
So each team will have 1 timeout remaining. Russell Wilson, the touchdown pass to Sidney Rice, and the rookie quarterback, 14 out of 17. He's already had 100 yards. His 2 best games this year yardage-wise, on the road at Carolina and then at home when he beat Tom Brady and the Patriots. That's when Richard Sherman obviously did the tweet, made the comment about Tom Brady that since was peeled back a little bit, although Sherman didn't back off those comments.
Now, really impressed in talking to Russell Wilson. He's got rare leadership skills. When you look at him and hear some of the stories from what he's doing in the facility up there in Seattle. And look, everyone wanted Matt Flynn, who they gave a contract coming from Green Bay, to be the guy. Matt didn't lose the job in training camp. This guy was exceptional. Russell Wilson just won it.
No, Sunday. Hey, go.
12 seconds. They want yardage for a field goal try, but the Lions are ready. They'll go backwards. Robert Turbin thrown for a loss. And Ndamukong Suh, who, by the way, Jay Cutler said that was not a dirty play on the sack Monday night. And Russell Wilson, who met Ndamukong Suh at a Nike event in Portland in the offseason, said the same thing.
And here he is here. He's going to get in the backfield and get a tackle for loss, which ends up being big here because they have to forces the timeout for Seattle, and it puts them further away for a field goal opportunity. They may be forced to throw some type of Hail Mary here now.
With 6 seconds, I was surprised they ran it. What a quick sideline toss.
Well, they had the timeout in their back pocket. They were hoping to pick up 6 yards, call the timeout, and then go in and kick it.
Robert Turbin stays in.
No, double. Hey, double. Yeah, hey, wrong.
This is the 3rd final timeout, Detroit. 30-second timeout.
So now the Lions are going to use a timeout. Both teams are out of timeouts at this point. It would be a 61-yard field goal try.
Well, I would imagine Jim Schwartz is grabbing all of his defensive backs and saying, look, deepest of the deep. If they go for a Hail Mary here, number 1, don't let anybody get behind you. And then number 2, look for the trailers, because what everybody does in the Hail Mary is they send 2 into the end zone, and then they send a couple of guys trailing to get the tip ball that comes off the hands of the defender. And we've seen it be effective already a few times over the last couple of seasons on the Hail Mary with the trailer receiver.
And, of course, Green Bay on Monday night, the nation saw the Golden Tate play. Was it a touchdown? Was it not a touchdown? It was ruled a touchdown.
Pete Carroll just may try to throw it quick and get it out of bounds.
And in the area of Zach Miller. 2 seconds remain.
Yeah, now here comes the Hail Mary. Well, is he gonna punt it?
Now Stephen Hauschka is coming out to try what would be a 61-yarder. We'll check the exact spot. And John Ryan, the punter, is the holder. Quint Gresham, the long snapper. And the Lions capable of blocking something, so maybe if they get the block, they run it back the other way. It will be a 61-yard try.
Look for a big push inside versus that low ball. It's got to come out low.
He got the kick away. It is low. And no good. Short. That was not played real well, but Pete Carroll's team still leads by 3 as we head to the locker room. The Visa halftime report with all the scores and highlights coming up. Tim Ryan, Chris Myers from Ford Field, where the Lions trail the Seahawks by 3 on Fox. John Lynch, who had the 77-yard run, the longest of his career. But it was the touchdown pass from Russell Wilson to Sidney Rice, providing the difference. 17-14 Seahawks over the Lions. Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL. Well, Tim, Seattle, I think it's gone pretty much for a road game what they wanted to do.
Yeah, it's planned. It really has. They've been able to run the ball. Pete Carroll knows it. The big long pop to Marshawn Lynch. I like the way they've been running Marshawn to the outside. Everyone knows him as an inside runner. He's been able to get his big yards to the outside. And then Russell Wilson's been effective with the short passing game. If you're Detroit, again, self-inflicted wounds. The penalties on defense especially have killed them.
Was the World Series. Checking the halftime stats, one thing that jumps out at me on the Lions side of the ball is that they have not completed a pass to Calvin Johnson.
Yeah, that's been an issue, and he hasn't been targeted enough. That needs to uptick for sure. But 14 points, that's big if you're a Detroit Lion fan. You look at the total yards, relatively similar there. It's the penalties. None by the Seahawks, 5 by the Detroit Lions. 4 of those on the defensive side of the ball.
Hey, 5-5! No. Hey, see 5-5.
First down from the 20. Russell Wilson will keep. And throw. That's Anthony McCoy. He's dancing backwards from the 25 and then goes across the 30 for a first down. Second string tight end to Zach Miller. It'll be 1st and 10 for Seattle after a gain of 13. You know, Marshawn Lynch, other than that big run, as we were saying, they've really done a pretty good job, the Lions defense, of keeping him in check.
Yeah, it was the big pop around the corner, and it was really a tendency breaker for the Seattle Seahawks, who love the inside run with Lynch, and they love it to the tight end side with Marshawn Lynch. That big one was to the outside and to the weak side of the defense.
There goes Lynch here. Across the 36-yard line. Delmas makes the tackle. Let's check it down on the field with Jamie Maggio.
Thanks, Chris. Well, I spoke to Lions head coach Jim Schwartz at the half. He said their run game needs to be more efficient on 1st and 2nd down. They're finding themselves in too many 3rd and long situations. Pete Carroll had to say this. He said, we are just giving up too many big plays. We need to not do that moving forward. Guys, back to you.
And the big play, the 46-yard touchdown toss on a 3rd down from Matthew Stafford to Titus Young. On 2nd down here, there goes Lynch. Up near another Seattle first down, just short of the 45-yard line.
Remember what I said earlier, in the defensive tackles having a big role in this game, and especially when you're on the backside of the run, you've got to stay on your feet with this inside run game. Watch what happens to Ndamukong Suh right here. He gets chopped down, and now you got a huge hole for your middle linebacker to fill. And Lynch is able to get up there and get the first down.
Yeah, so Lynch has 1 carry for 77 yards, and then he has 8 carries for 13. But he got the first down. That's Lynch off the flip, knocked down right away. Delmas on the spot, short of the 45-yard line.
That is such a terrific play, and really Louis Delmas, who's been dealing with a knee since training camp, just got back in the lineup a few games ago. He's going to have a positive impact for his defense, and watch how he slides under the 340-pound James Carpenter to make that tackle in open space on Marshawn Lynch. That's outstanding.
Second down 9 from the 44. Seahawks
Hey, we gotta go!
opening possession here in the second half. Russell Wilson has it. Is going deep. That's Sidney Rice. Just off his fingertips, incomplete.
Good example of the arm strength of Russell Wilson. And he's going to take 5 or 6 deep shots per game. And they got after Louis Delmas right there, who, as I just said, has had a bad knee. You're going to have Sidney Rice coming from a tight formation. He's just going to run the post. And he runs right by Louis Delmas, who was guessing on the route. And just out of reach for Sidney Rice. Right on the fingertips.
Alfonso Smith comes in. They're already thin in the secondary for Louis Delmas on 3rd and 9.
Sunday.
Russell Wilson incomplete. Intended for Zach Miller, but the Lions, who have yet to sack Russell in this game, apply pressure.
Really good job by Willie Young applying the pressure. I think if you've watched enough of Russell Wilson on tape, you know his behavior pattern, Chris, which means when he's in trouble, he escapes to his right. And that's exactly what happened there, and Willie Young was able to peel outside and get the hit on him and force the errant throw.
Third punt for John Ryan. Stephon Logan, fair catch, waves for the 16-yard line of Detroit. Haven't had great field position, but they have gone toe-to-toe here with the Seahawks, and after a 40-yard punt, Lions have the football. Welcome you back to Detroit. There's Louis Delmas, who was inactive for the first 4 games, missed the entire preseason after the knee surgery and having to rehab that. Lions don't want him to miss any more time.
I'm not so sure he didn't hurt it on the tackle before that big pass attempt.
Stafford goes down. Leroy Hill with the sack for Seattle. But let's look at Delmas where he may have hurt that.
Yeah, you could see him come right down on his left knee right there, and that's been the troublesome knee as he's blocking Marshawn Lynch. And then here's the next play with the deep post route to Sidney Rice. And you could already tell the way that Louis Delmas was going down that he was already protecting that knee. I think it was hurt on the run play before.
On the sack of Stafford, a loss of 9. Trailing by 3. And I watch the clock here, the game clock, shot clock. Titus Young makes the catch. Short of the first down. It'll bring up 3rd down. Young had the big touchdown catch after Ryan Broyles had an earlier touchdown catch of Stafford.
You can say what you want, and they're going to miss Nate Burleson for the remaining 9.5 games, no question. But so far today, these young Bucks, that's catch number 5 for Titus Young. He's got a touchdown, and Ryan Broyles, a rookie's also got a touchdown. They have definitely stepped up.
You know, when I call it the shot clock, it's the play clock, but of course they attempt 44 throws a game, the Lions offense, second most in the NFL. So this run and gun offense needs to start clicking for Stafford. Underneath at the 20-yard line, and for a first down is Broyles. Right on cue.
I love the fact that Matthew Stafford is attacking the intermediate zone of this defense. You see the 2 deep defenders for the Seattle Seahawks. And after that sack, they were like in second and forever, and they got themselves to 3rd and long, and then were able to throw that shallow crossing route to that rookie Ryan Broyles to pick up a first down. Well done.
Overcame a 2nd and 19. Joyke Bell comes in at running back, 2nd in the NFC in receiving yards among running backs. He gets the carry and fights hard to get up to the 34-yard line. A great story out of Wayne State, a college a few miles from this building. From Benton Harbor, Michigan, and once was a security guard working for the Lions in training camp.
A good push here for Joyke Bell off to the left side with Rob Sims, even Calvin Johnson, 81, the wide receivers, getting in the mix and trying to block KJ Wright. Jeff Backus out in front. Look, I think when you look at the turnovers for the Lions, think of the last week's game against the Bears. It's just youth. Joyke Bell at 2nd down from inside the 5-yard line. You don't need to leap and get in the air. run that guy over, get to the 1 yard line. Same goes for Mikel LeSure.
On 2nd and 5, Stafford has it. And will keep it for a first down, getting out of bounds across the Detroit 40-yard line. Wanted to go deep, but thought better.
He's not going to serve up to those big corners that can go up and get it. They got 5 of the 6 interceptions for the Seattle Seahawks. But back to what I was saying about the youth, just knowing the situation. Joyke Bell, the 2nd down on the goal line. Just get it to the 1 and play another down. The other turnover down inside the red zone with Mikel LeSure. It's first down. You don't need to fight for the extra 6 inches. Ball security. Just know the situation. I think the youth has reared its ugly head for the first part of the season here for Detroit.
Brian Robisky, wearing number 80, who was recently signed as in at receiver as Bell carries to the 45-yard line. Calvin Johnson has been targeted twice. It's worth repeating because the yardage has been there this year, but still no touchdown connection between him and Matthew Stafford. In this game, he does not have a catch at all. Megatron.
That's shocking to me. I just don't know how you have a guy that's that talented, maybe the most talented guy in the league. I don't care what the coverage is. He deserves 10 targets.
This time he lines up where Brandon Browner is, so 6'5" on 6'4". Joyke Bell in the slot. Stafford high, and there he is at the 40-yard line. Did he hang on? No. When he hit the ground, he lost the football. Brandon Browner was with him.
Well, he did all the work in terms of converting the route and the route adjustment. He's got Trufant one-on-one. He's going to sift behind him and then run the in cut in front of Browner. Goes up to get it. Doesn't finish the catch through the ground, which can clearly cause an incompletion. Going to climb the ladder. That's what he can do. He just doesn't finish the process of the catch all the way through the ground.
Calvin Johnson had a big drop early in the Monday night game against the Bears.
They never recovered from that.
Shifted things. And should have held on to that. So now 3rd down for Stafford. Pressure coming from Trufant, but he gets rid of it. And fighting near the first down. Looked like he was stopped. Brandon Pettigrew with the catch and carry.
Boy, those Seahawks are wicked and nasty tacklers. Because Pettigrew is a big body guy. He did get it right to the first down mark. Seattle did all they could to prohibit that. Nice play by Pettigrew. Checking in and then releasing.
Matthew Stafford making a good adjustment on that play. Calvin Johnson goes to the left side, top of your screen. Team captain, voted team captain this year, so he takes that responsibility very seriously. This is Bell. Not much. Stafford 20 out of 28, 225 yards and 2 touchdowns. His first 2 touchdown game of this year.
We were talking to Jim Schwartz on Friday, the head coach, and he said when he was in Tennessee and I think they started 0-5 or something, and Jeff Fisher came in and said, all right, let's get together with team meeting. I'm going to show you guys everything we're going to change, and held up a blank piece of paper. And I think it's the same way with Jim Schwartz. I mean, they're top 10, both offense and defense. They know they've self-destructed, been their own worst enemy. They don't see answers in changing the scheme. They see the answers in execution, and rightly so.
Means he believes in the talent that he has. In guys like Stafford, ball is tipped and incomplete. And Calvin Johnson and Pettigrew, etc. Now, defensively, they'll get some people back, hopefully with Levy and some of those secondary guys like Bentley.
And they're hoping to get Drayton Florence back, who was put on the injured reserve, designated to return with the broken forearm. They're certainly hoping to get their 3rd round pick, and sure they will in the next couple weeks in Bentley. Jacob Lacey, who's been a starter, same goes for him. If they can fight their way through this tough spot here and figure out how to get some confidence and some wins, the end of the season could be good to them.
On 3rd and 8. On the run, throws, and a leaping grab is made by Titus Young.
That is an outstanding grab.
There is a flag down on the other side of the field. Again, our referee is John Perry.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense, number 39. Penalties declined. Results of play, 1st and 10. Detroit.
Called on Brandon Browner, had a call early in the game. It's declined. It's a 1st down.
Watch this. He's going to go in and then he's going to cut back outside. That's what you do to those big corners. Get him starting, get him stopping. Now, does he catch this ball? Does he possess it before the ground forces it to move? It's like he pulled it in and cradled it. He's able to make the catch. That's what you do to those big corners, though. You start and stop. I'll bet you Pete Carroll challenges
Yeah,
this.
they should have snapped in a hurry because you could see him reaching for the red flag. And that was a 3rd down play. So it's a big conversion here. First challenge of the game for either team.
And the Lions, that's one area today that they have been outstanding. It's on 3rd down and continuing drives. If they end up getting this one, 7 of 11, 64%. That's a big number. Gets out, gets it on his fingertips, goes to pull it in, elbow down. Looked like the left elbow and the left arm was under the ball. I think that's going to be a catch, at least from that angle. This will be a much better angle to look at it. Oh yeah, never touches the ground. That's a catch by Titus Young.
I concur. Ruled a catch on the field, challenged by Pete Carroll.
Ruling on the field has been confirmed as a catch. The ball never touched the ground. Seattle will be charged with 1st team timeout. Play clock on the 25. Game clock on the snap.
Man, here you can see it exactly. It's a great look at it. And watch as he pulls it in. Watch his left forearm wrapped in the black sleeve. Always stays between the ball and the ground. You see the ball comes down there, but you still got that black sleeve on that arm that's under the ball the whole time. It never touches the turf.
Old eagle eyes, Tim Ryan. You've been duck hunting, I can tell. Young with his 6th catch of the game. That leads all receivers. So on 1st down, LaShore has room inside the 30 of Seattle. This is really a complete-looking drive for the Detroit Lions as LaShore limps off the field.
I like him a lot. I think the more his confidence gets going, Michael LaShore, we all know he had a torn Achilles last year. A few issues off the field in the offseason, but I know in talking to Jim Schwartz and their team offensively, this guy's more than a short yardage back. They really believe he is a complete running back, both running and catching out of the backfield.
13th play of this drive for the Lions. Inside the 30 of Seattle. Stafford fires and intercepted inside the 5. Earl Thomas leaping from his safety position for the 1st turnover of this game.
Now, bad decision. Here's Scheffler in the slot, and he's going to run the post here, and a bad decision from Matthew Stafford, who never saw the safety, Earl Thomas. I mean, Earl is just sitting back ready to poach that post route, and that's exactly what he did.
His 2nd interception of the season, and it sets up.
He never had to move his feet. I mean, he just got to his landmark and waited.
Well, it's one thing if you have Calvin Johnson back there who can outleap people, but
I don't even think Calvin was on the field on that last play. I think he was standing on the sideline.
Fans are going to try to make it difficult on the rookie quarterback, Russell Wilson. That's Robert Turbin, the rookie running back, and he is shoved back.
And it won't be a safety. Contact initiated in the field of play, and then they pushed him into the end zone.
Seahawks with 2 timeouts. They lost one when they lost the challenge, and you can see Russell Wilson holding the helmet. This is where he talked about communication down here and being successful on the road.
See if they try to hard count the Lion defense down here.
Wilson throwing, floats complete. That's Michael Robinson knocked down short of the 10. Let's check in with Kurt Menefee for a game break. Kurt?
Well, the good news is the Rams had a 7-0 lead if you're a Rams fan, but after that it's been all New England. Brandon Lloyd's 2nd touchdown reception of the day from 9 yards out. 35 unanswered points for the Patriots right now, and they lead it in England 35-7. Chris and Tim.
Thanks, Kurt. Seahawks don't mind when a team in their division like the Rams are losing. On 3rd and 5.
1 third down conversion so far in this game for the Seahawks.
Wilson opened his turban with a first down across the 20-yard line. Russell Wilson quickly saw it and got the ball there.
Looks a lot like the route that they ran last week against the 49ers that Turbin dropped. 2 defenders fall down here to the outside.
16-yard gain.
Going to come right out of the bat. It's exactly the same route they ran last week, and Turbin dropped it against the 49ers, and it's a little pick route where the inside linebacker gets picked off by the guy who's covering out on the perimeter. And it left Turbin wide open.
It's only the 3rd quarter, but that may be a game-shaping 3rd down conversion as Sidney Rice takes the pitch and dances his way across the 26-yard line. Already missing Bill Bentley, Jacob Lacey, Amari Spivey, Eric Coleman inactive, and Delmas out on this series with that knee problem.
You know, and I know that gets in the craw of Gunther Cunningham, that last big completion to Robert Turbin, because I asked him about that play from the 49er game. He said the 49er defense screwed it up. They got to switch their coverage, which means you got the outside guy, I got the inside guy. The Lions didn't do it and got caught.
Wilson keeps and gets a first down across the 35-yard line. He doesn't like to run. He usually runs to set up the throw, but Russell Wilson saw an opening. And one of the Lions players, Stephen Tulloch, slow getting up.
Watch how Russell Wilson threatens the line of scrimmage with the pump fake. Remember how good Brett Favre was at doing that when he was running around? He just pump it and make you think he's going to throw it. There's one pump. There's another pump. And that buys him a little room to run for the first down.
From the 36, they dug out of a hole back at the Seattle 3. It's first down. Russell Wilson with all day and legs it out. Throws it deep. Intercepted. Ricardo Silva. Ricardo Silva from Baltimore, Maryland, hometown of head coach Jim Schwartz, a free agent from Hampton. He's only playing because of all those injuries we mentioned in the secondary. In fact, Tim, they have not started back-to-back games with the same 4 guys in that secondary, but he came up with a big play.
Boy, do they need interceptions. They've only got 2 on the year, now 3. Classic cover 2. He's got the deep half, and his length comes into play. All 6'3" of them undercutting the route. Sidney Rice, a much-needed takeaway for the Lions defense.
Tim Ryan, Chris Myers, Lions take over after the turnover. Back-to-back interceptions for each quarterback. Stafford's throw complete. Inside the 40, it's Calvin Johnson's first catch of the game, down inside the 30 of Seattle. He's had a catch in every game he's played in since coming into the NFL.
Yeah, watch what they do. A form of double coverage here. Leroy Hill is going to bounce out and try to get underneath it, and Calvin Johnson exploits it with the in-cutting route. You see Leroy Hill, he gets out there, he tries to undercut it. Calvin cuts it back inside. And Pete Carroll told us yesterday they were going to man up Calvin Johnson out on the perimeter and not a lot of double coverage in terms of help. I'm not buying it. You just saw one of the ways that they're trying to put 2 on Calvin.
25-yard gain. They run the joint bell inside. So Megatron with the catch. The voice of Optimum Prime somewhere in that secondary. But if they can get Calvin going, it could change this game entirely and maybe the Lions season.
And I have noticed Pete Carroll here in the second half defensively has started to send more pressure. We've seen Earl Thomas come on a blitz. We've seen a linebacker or 2 come on a blitz. And if you do that, that certainly puts your corners in one-on-one isolation matchups out here to the outside.
They set up a screen to Bell. First down, Lions. 3rd quarter winding down as they get down to the 18-yard line. Well, Calvin Johnson is warming up after some offensive explosion in the first half. The defenses are tightening here.
Well, and Matthew Stafford, we all know, has been the best fourth quarter quarterback in terms of points up on the board of any team in the NFL. So see if we can get ready for a Lion explosion.
It'll be 1st and 10 Lions, already in field goal range. Will they tie it or jump ahead? It's the end of the third quarter at Ford Field. Fox NFL Sunday continues in a moment. Lions have been one of the more productive fourth quarter teams in the NFL. Not a fast start today, but they're hoping for the big finish. After Ricardo Silva's first career interception, they have a first down from the 17 of Seattle. Joyke Bell carries down to the 14-yard line. Mikel LaSure got the start. Ran for 46 yards on 10 carries, but didn't shake anything loose. Had maybe 2 or 3 catches in the game. Titus Young with 6 catches leads all receivers.
I'll tell you who's having a nice year for the Lions up front is Rob Sims, their left guard. And you saw him just lead the way on that Joyke Bell run. You see him there, number 67. He was a Seahawk for 4 seasons. And he's found a home here in Detroit. He's enjoying his best year of his career.
It's Bell on a delay handoff. Staggers inside the 11-yard line where it'll bring up third down. Start of the fourth quarter, 14 minutes in regulation. Defensive coordinator Gus Bradley working against Scott Linehan, calling the offensive plays for the Lions.
You see what Seattle's been able to do down in the red zone with their backs against the wall. Not as good today, though. We saw the Ryan Broyles touchdown early in the game, which came down in the red zone.
Calvin Johnson lines up in the slot. Kevin Smith is the running back on 3rd and 4. Calvin has it. Correction, Pettigrew with a 1st and goal inside the 3-yard line.
Now, I don't want to hear another thing about bad mechanics from Matthew Stafford. I don't care what his mechanics are. He is throwing lasers, and watch him throw Pettigrew open. He's going to come and pivot out on KJ Wright. Perfect mechanics there, but absolutely threw it to the only spot he could, to the outside where only his tight end could get it, not the linebacker. What a dart.
There's a no huddle and a flag.
There is no foul.
Well, then don't throw the flag. From the 2-yard line, it'll be 1st and goal.
And we had a good laugh with Stafford on Friday. He walked in. I said, tell me about your mechanics, man. They're awful. Your footwork, the sidearm throw. I said, yeah, Brett Favre with over 400 touchdowns. His mechanics weren't great either. Matt's not worried about it. He's got to throw from a bunch of different platforms in terms of having his body out of position. That's the beauty of him. Things don't have to be perfect for him to throw strikes.
He was very relaxed. Not caught up in the pressure of a 2-4 team. This is Kevin Smith, and it's a touchdown, Lions. No.
No, he's short. You can see 30 right there. He was already down before he tried to twist and turn and get that ball over the goal line.
The officials right on top of it. Stafford keeps, and still no signal.
And you can tell Matthew Stafford did not want to put that ball out there and show it to the defense and get it punched out. I think Red Bryant still thought he came up with it. You watch, Matthew is not going to stick it out and really reach, and wise not to do so.
Earl Thomas over the top. Well, we saw the fumble in the Chicago game when Detroit tried that with LaSure.
You see a lot of quarterbacks when they're that tight to the goal line. They just try to jump and lead with the ball and get it over the goal line. Smart by Matthew Stafford, knowing the situation and how Seattle had it stacked up, because they would have swatted it out.
So now 3rd and goal. Stafford has it. He keeps, and Matthew Stafford has, this time, a touchdown.
Love the play call by Scott Linehan. 2 running backs, 3 tight ends, extra offensive linemen, no receivers on the field. Seattle's thinking run the whole way, and Matthew runs around the corner for his 3rd rushing touchdown this year.
They were close on the 2 previous tries, and Stafford, with his 3rd touchdown run this season, gives the Lions a 4-point lead. There is a flag. John Perry and his crew.
The point after is good. Offside. Defense number 39. That penalty will be enforced on the ensuing kickoff.
That call on Brandon Browner against the Seahawks. Stafford with the 6th rushing touchdown of his career. He also has 2 touchdown passes in this game, and the home team is out in front at Ford Field. Scott Linehan dialed it up for Stafford to keep it.
Stafford showing some wheels too, outrunning Earl Thomas and Bobby Wagner. Peterman had the key block though on Jerron Johnson, who came off the edge, and Peterman was able to get him outflanked, and the rest was Matthew Stafford.
And the catch by Calvin Johnson for 25 yards on that drive got the Lions going. It all came after the interception thrown by Russell Wilson, who will get the ball back here. Leon Washington brings it out for the Seahawks. And he slips a tackle, but is knocked down at the 12-yard line. Special teams strong for the Lions. Detroit hoping for a big day. The Tigers later. The Lions trying to hold on right now. Halloween is Wednesday, but Kyle Vanden Bosch.
Every Sunday's Halloween for Kyle Vanden Bosch.
And these Lion fans are ready to make it tough on Russell Wilson.
That dude is scary.
Russell Wilson has it and throws complete to Golden Tate. Was out of bounds at the 23-yard line.
Well, if you're Cliff Averill, the left defensive end, you got to understand the situation here and know that Russell Wilson is a guy that loves to get to his right and loves to break the pocket and get out to the right. And he never sees Zach Miller, who motions in, who ends up pinning him inside, and then Wilson just right to the outside. And that's just awareness. I know Zach Miller lined up out wide, but you got to sense that motion, and now he can get you and pin you in.
Marshawn Lynch will lose yards. It'll be 3rd down, and Corey Williams clogged the middle.
Boy, was he close to offside again for the Lions up front. I mean, he is off the ball faster than anybody on either side of the ball. When you get that kind of get off and anticipation, you're in the backfield before they even have a chance to block it.
Ever since Gunther Cunningham corralled the troops.
And I think the message is sunk in from Jim Schwartz and Gunther Cunningham. No penalties here in the second half for the Lions.
Here comes a flag.
Delay game. Offense.
So the fans do their part. You know, Pete Carroll brings his team out on Friday when they come to the East Coast, and Russell Wilson with the game clock. He said that was very important to be aware of the play clock of where it is in each stadium. It's, of course, the first time he's playing in this building. Now it's 3rd and 10. Complete and across the 30. Sidney Rice with a big conversion for a 1st down.
Well, Russell Wilson hanging in there because he had a freight train bearing down on him, and Ndamukong Suh, who's coming from a stand-up position and playing left end, and basically just forklifts Giacomini right into Russell Wilson, who hangs in there and throws a nice throw to Sidney Rice on the in-cutting route. Look at Suh, number 90 on Giacomini. And that is a pure forklift. Russell is creative and clever as he is, steps right up and throws a good ball.
Marshawn Lynch shoots up to the 40-yard line near another 1st down. after the gain of 18 on the throw by Russell Wilson, who really stands about 5'10". We stood next to him, the rookie quarterback. But Pete Carroll told you, Tim, that he went back and looked at Drew Brees, who's in that under 6 feet category of NFL quarterbacks, his first 7 games of his career.
Yeah, and he said there's a lot of similarities. Now, Drew, 1 more touchdown and 25 more attempts, but Drew did start 6-1. Russell is 4-3. Drew finished 2-7 that year to finish in the last 9 games. Curious to see how Russell does with a lot of football left.
They need a yard, and the fullback, Michael Robinson, plows forward for a Seattle first down. Lynch with 95 yards rushing, and he had that 77-yard touchdown run.
Yeah, but all the other runs, he hasn't even averaged 2 yards a carry. They've been stuffing him up inside. I'll tell you one thing on Russell Wilson, though, for a guy 5'10", huge hands. I mean, he's got hands the size of an offensive or a defensive lineman.
First down, Wilson has it, throws, and caught again by Sidney Rice, who goes out of bounds for the first down.
They're just attacking the speed of that left defensive end for the Detroit Lions, and this time it's Willie Young. They fake a little zone read play inside where he's faking the handoff. Willie Young squeezed down. You watch Willie Young right here. He's going to squeeze down because of this little zone read. Now Russell can get out and get a clear throwing lane. Right there, out to a clear throwing lane, good vision point, and throws it to the second tier of the routes.
Gain of 18, so now at the Detroit 40. Fresh set of downs. 2 receivers on the left, Lynch is the back. Wilson keeps and gets rid of it. America's Game of the Week follows this game, Giants and Cowboys. And then, of course, Game 4 of the World Series from right here in Detroit. Eli Manning, you talk about a guy doing it in the 4th quarter in clutch performance. I know he's got 2 Super Bowl rings. He continues to amaze.
Incredible. And Hakeem Nicks getting healthy. How good is Victor Cruz? You kidding me? Maybe Martellus Bennett back to Dallas and can make some plays in the passing game at tight end. Russell
Wilson talked about preparation so that he could relax and be calm in these 4th quarter situations. He rolls to his left, throws into the middle of the coverage. Hit hard is Sidney Rice, but he holds on. Down at the 32-yard line, Justin Durant just leveled.
Chris, I'll tell you what Seattle's doing, and they're really doing a nice job of taking advantage of those defensive ends for the Lions. I talked about it earlier, who typically play with those real wide alignments. Well, they've reduced those alignments, and they're playing inside the tight end. And what Seattle's doing is they're just getting them outflanked with movement by the quarterback.
They need to get to the 30 for a first down. Robert Turbin is in at running back. Russell Wilson has it, and through behind Turbin. It's 4th down.
Well, good execution by 2 guys. Nick Fairley getting in the face of Russell Wilson, and then Stephen Tulloch, who was trying like crazy to play catch-up to get to Robert Turbin.
They're going for it, Tim.
Yeah, Russell Wilson wanted to hold there on Stephen Tulloch. Not going to get it.
This is one of those tipping points. Not going to try a long field goal.
I think Pete Carroll's going to get a timeout to think about it here.
Seattle, after the Detroit timeout, we'll discuss things.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Chevrolet. From kickoff to the last yard, Chevy runs deep.
It's 4th and 2. Seattle passing up a 50-yard field goal try. They're going for it.
And clearly a pass with no running backs in the backfield. See if Russell Wilson uses his legs and gets to the outside.
The quick throw is called in by Golden Tate for a Seahawk first down. A gutsy call and converted after the Lions timeout.
It's always those inside receivers. When you get into these empty sets and you got no running backs, you got 5-man protection, you know the ball's got to come out quick, so the inside receivers have to make a play. And Golden Tate just did it there, getting across the face of Alphonso Smith.
And Luis Dallas, who went out with an injury, remains out of the Detroit secondary. Fresh set of downs for Seattle. And Marshawn Lynch gets the carry and gets inside the 20-yard line, down near the 15-yard line.
How about that stiff arm he just threw on Ashley Palmer, who was in perfect position to make a play. Lynch is running to the outside today with a lot of success. Of course, the big runs. Look at that stiff arm right to the grill. He just flattens the linebacker.
100-yard rushing day for Marshawn Lynch. A lot of that came in the first half on that 77-yard sprint to the end zone. Longest touchdown run in his career. But now from the 16. Seahawks set up nicely.
Go! Hey, bang it! Go!
End zone for the tight end, Zach Miller. Touchdown! A terrific grab. His first touchdown as a member of the Seahawks.
Right at the backup linebacker, Ashley Palmer. DeAndre Levy not playing today. It's going to be a corner route. Here's Palmer, corner route right to the corner of the end zone. Oh, excuse me. He got rubbed off a little bit with his safety trying to get to the outside. Look at that throw from Russell Wilson, and then the one-handed catch. Tips it with the right hand, pulls it in. Ball never touches the ground. Superb.
The more you see it, the more spectacular it is. Waiting for confirmation from the officials that all look good here, and the extra point, they get the thumbs up. Hauschka with the extra point try to make it a 3-point Seattle lead here in the fourth quarter. They covered 87 yards in 12 plays. Zach Miller on the receiving end. Russell Wilson already has 2 fourth quarter comeback wins in his rookie season. Zach Miller came in as the second leading receiver on this Seahawk team, but getting his first career touchdown for Pete Carroll.
Yeah, and that's all genuine from Pete Carroll. You can just see it on his face. And these guys love playing for Pete because no matter what they're doing in terms of their numbers, they're his guys, and he instills confidence in them. And this league is all about confidence from the neck up.
16th career touchdown catch for Ford Field. The Lions come out on the 20-yard line. Russell Wilson delivering here in the fourth quarter. They express themselves in many different ways. The objective the same when you're an NFL head coach, and it's 24-21 here in the fourth quarter. Seahawks lead with just under 5.5 minutes to go. Pete Carroll, lifelong San Francisco Giant fan, and on the other side, Jim Schwartz grew up an Oriole fan but a converted Tiger fan. In fact, he's talked with manager Jim Leland about staying the course. Tim, you talked about it earlier, not panicking, not changing a lot when you have the personnel, and obviously the Tigers getting to the series and the Lions hoping to get to 3-4 and back into the playoffs.
Well, and Jimmy knows the effect of sports on this town over the last couple of years with them going to the playoffs last year. Fans in the city get stimulated.
Stafford's throw on first down to Calvin Johnson, who has a first down across the 35-yard line. The Lions are trying to get to 3-4. I'm sure if they're scoreboard watching, they're aware that Carolina is winning in Chicago from that division. Now the Packers are leading Jacksonville. Meanwhile, for Seattle, trying to win on the road and go to 5-3. The Rams are getting blown out over in London by New England, but Monday night, the Arizona Cardinals host the 49ers in the NFC West.
They had a great shot to win that game last Thursday against the 49ers. A couple of key drops really affected them in that game offensively.
Incomplete at the 40. Calvin Johnson, that's another one he could have had. He's had 2 catchable footballs in this game that he hadn't held on to.
And your offensive line does such a great job of protecting your quarterback. You got to finish the plays with positives. Watch Backus in this matchup on Chris Clemens. You want to try to stop this spin move to the inside? The good offensive tackles know how to recover and stay on their guy. That is awesome by Jeff Backus. And then Calvin doesn't catch the football.
At age 34, a former first-round pick out of Michigan. And from Wayne State, Joyke Bell in the backfield. Quick throw. Stumbling after making the catch is Scheffler, who falls at the 40. It'll bring up third down. They need to get across the 45-yard line for a first down. Interesting, in that last Seattle drive, they passed up the 50-yard field goal try. Hauschka made one from 23, but remember, he was short on the 61-yarder right before the half, but it was the right call for Pete Carroll.
Well, it kind of tells you how much confidence Pete Carroll has in his rookie quarterback, Russell Wilson. That was a big statement.
What you want?
9 for 13 on third down. They need another conversion here with Kevin Smith in the backfield. Time for Stafford. And this time Calvin Johnson does hang on. And that's good enough for another third down conversion and a first down.
And another big time throw from Matthew Stafford. It's going to be an in cut. 81 Calvin Johnson. You see him coming out of the slot. Good coverage on him with Trufant, but watch the ball location. Down into the inside where only Calvin could get it. Great throw beats good coverage every time. That was an example of it.
From the 46-yard line of the Lions. From the gun, it's Stafford. 2 receivers on each side for him. And the quick throw to Titus Young, who has room and is brought down from behind. An excellent tackle by Bobby Wagner, or Young would have been down inside the 40.
We were just talking about Jeff Backus, all 12 years of him. He's going to get out here and lead the way, and he's going to get just enough on KJ Wright, number 50, right there where KJ Wright has to kind of run the hula hoop, if you will, and run the corner soft, which gives about a 6-yard opportunity for Titus Young.
Watch it. Now come to you. Pop left.
That's complete for a first down to Young. Titus Young with 8 catches in this football game. More than any receiver.
Well, he's been terrific, whether it's been deep, whether it's been shallow, and those shallow crossing routes versus the man coverage. Titus Young's done it in just about every way possible today in terms of the route tree.
Second-year player has stepped up. And for Matthew Stafford, the 4th 300-yard game of the season for him. 13th in his career. 29 out of 40 for 316.
Scheffler at the top needs one here.
That's Bell underneath. And it gets down to the 35-yard line, and at the 2-minute warning, the Lions, who trail by 3, working themselves into field goal range, possibly taking the lead over Pete Carroll's Seahawks. You're watching the NFL on Fox. The Seahawks 24, the Lions 21. Second down, under 2 minutes to play for the Lions if they have to go that route. 42-year-old Jason Hansen has made more field goals over 50 at the age of 42 than anybody in the history of the game. From the 36-yard line, pass complete inside the 30 and falling forward to the 25-yard line. Brandon Pettigrew for a Detroit first down. Not well within the range of Hansen.
No, and the tight ends are just having a monster day. When you look at the number of catches for Pettigrew and Schefter, that totals them to 11 now for the 2 tight ends. Love the ball distribution of Matthew Stafford. No Nate Burleson, and he is spreading the ball everywhere.
And only 2 catches from Calvin Johnson. Make that 3 with a couple of drops. They're going to run it to Joyke Bell, who's played much of the second half. And look at him fight to get down inside the 20-yard line. Also, Titus Young, career high in both receptions and yardage. 8 grabs for 99 yards for the Detroit Lions. Each team, Tim, with 2 timeouts and just over a minute to play. So Jim Schwartz is saying, at the worst, we're going to tie this game.
That's right.
Stafford has 1 interception in this game. And Bell with the catch falling forward for another Lion first down. And the clock runs.
And they're going to stop it right now.
They want to make sure that they're going to have it last regardless.
That's right.
So a little drama, high drama and high def here at Ford Field. Tim Ryan, Chris Myers, glad you're with us for the NFL on Fox. Jason Hanson may have to line up for a game-tying field goal. 51 seconds left for Detroit. They're at the Seattle 12-yard line.
You got to take your shot to Calvin. Do they play it safe? Turnovers in the red zone a problem? I say you take it up top right to that guy.
On first down, they have one timeout remaining. Seattle has two. Passes incomplete for Tony Scheffler. No flags.
And he had Calvin Johnson in the back of the end zone for sure. Earl Thomas, the safety, was playing over the top, but underneath the top on Scheffler. You're going to see Calvin out of the slot there. He's going to take it vertical. He was running a corner route. Richard Sherman was playing the corner route the whole way. But it was wide open if he'd have cut to the inside where the safety vacated Earl Thomas to go get Scheffler.
Calvin Johnson, top of your screen, to Stafford's right. Scheffler in the slot. That's Calvin Johnson off his hands.
The captain's got to make this catch. Corner route set up perfectly. Richard Sherman, they're sitting in cover two where Cam Chancellor's got the deep half of the field. A beautiful throw from Stafford. It's the perfect cover two beater. Would have been a tough catch, but one that Calvin makes 99 out of 100 times.
He's had 3 drops today and only 3 catches. It's third down. Joyce Bell, the running back. Stafford complete. It's going to be a touchdown for Detroit Bell at the goal line. No. Short. And it's a first down and goal to go. And the Lions are going to maybe use their last timeout right here.
Boy, Joyce Bell looked like he got it over, but a body part must have touched down the hip. Touchdown right there before he put the ball out and extended it over the goal line. I mean, he had half of his body in the end zone, but the problem was his right hip already touched the ground, and he's going to secure the ball here. You see him tuck that thing, and he doesn't even want to reach out and try to give the opportunity to Seattle to knock it out.
Yeah, and it's automatically being reviewed upstairs, obviously, because we're under 2 minutes, and it looked like he did get the ball across him, but you're right on. It's the right call. He was down beforehand, and the officials were right on top of that while the Lions were celebrating.
Yeah, you see the left hip and the left arm down, and the ball still not past the plane of the goal line.
So now you've got an interesting
trying to slide in. Did you see?
Well, you got an interesting situation because you're out of timeouts for the Lions, and it's first and goal, and you see how much time is remaining.
Yeah, you take 3 shots in the end zone with the passing game.
And you don't suffer.
And another thing you could do, too, is you could get Matthew Stafford out and give him a run-pass option, and if he is going to get tackled, just let him throw it away.
Stafford does have a touchdown run in this game, and he's thrown for 2 touchdowns. "35 seconds to go, first and goal. Lions with the football. Stafford has it, keeps it, and gets rid of it. Seahawks with a 3-point lead and 29 seconds to play. Along with Tim Ryan and Chris Myers, we're glad you're watching the NFL on Fox. It's been back and forth from the start. Matthew Stafford, couple of touchdown passes. He's run for a score. Second and goal from the 1.
Yeah.
Calvin Johnson lines up on the left side. Bottom of your screen. Stafford in trouble and gets rid of it.
Now that would have been the worst thing that could happen with no timeouts left. 24 seconds is taking a sack. Wisely, Matthew Stafford unloads it and looks like he hurt something in the process.
Chris Clemens applied the pressure for the Seahawks. What a stand by one of the best defenses in the red zone this year. So third and goal, and again Jim Schwartz, at the very least you get a game-tying field goal. No timeouts worth repeating. Stafford, quick throw, end zone. Yes, Titus Young with a Lions touchdown. touchdown.
What a great read by Matthew Stafford, knowing that Titus Young was matched up in one-on-one coverage out on the edge, and then watch the ball location down and low to where only Titus Young can get it. You got the huge Brandon Browner over the top, and Matthew Stafford put it right where he needed to put it for the touchdown. And let's see if this is a clear catch. Nothing ever hits the ground before possession is made by Titus Young. It all looks good. Ball never touches the ground. Well done.
Confirmed by the booth upstairs.
Stafford has had 4 or 5 of those throws where the ball location has been absolutely perfect.
Hanson's extra point makes it a 4-point lead. 3 touchdown passes for Stafford, and for Titus Young, the career day continues. 9 catches, 100 yards. He's been the go-to guy when Calvin Johnson has struggled, and he's playing more because of the injury to Nate Burleson on Monday night.
Well, we said it early in the game. Nate Burleson has quietly been an underrated number 2 receiver here for the Lions for a long time opposite Calvin Johnson. With him being gone for the year with a broken leg, which one of the young guys step up? And both of them have. In particular, Titus Young, you mentioned his numbers with the 2 touchdowns. Ryan Broyles, the rookie, who had his first 3 catches last week against Chicago, also got in the mix and stepped up with a touchdown himself.
And Joyce Bell, the running back from Wayne State, a part of that drive, who's played much of the second half, reliable for the Lions, getting them down close.
Sean Jefferson, the wide receiver coach there, longtime player himself. He knows what this means.
For Matthew Stafford, and there's 20 seconds left, Seattle has 2 timeouts. Stafford with 8 fourth-quarter comeback wins. If Detroit holds on, this would be his 9th. They didn't get the fast start they wanted.
Look at that number by Stafford.
But they had a long drive when it mattered most. That produced a touchdown at the end.
That's right.
Leon Washington capable of taking it all the way the other way. So they keep it away from him as best they can. Ball is still loose. Jason Hanson with the perfect squib kick that goes all the way back inside the 18-yard line. "15 seconds show on the clock." Ben Obamanu came up with it for Seattle to give them one last gasp. Two timeouts remaining. 15 seconds to go. They have to get a little bit closer if they want to go to the. If they want to try the Hail Mary. Russell Wilson. Sideline open. Charlie Martin incomplete. 8 seconds remain.
Now it's about trickeration, hook and ladder, and they're obviously being this far away. The Hail Mary is out of the question.
Russell Wilson has had 2 fourth-quarter comebacks already, and this is 8th NFL game. And of course, you all saw the drama unfold on Monday night with the Hail Mary to Golden Tate. He has equaled his career high in attempts, 34 throws in this game.
He's been really impressive today.
Catch is made. The pitch to Golden Tate, who pitches back further, and the ball is knocked away. And the Lions roar back. Detroit with a fourth-quarter rally scores the touchdown to win 28-24, so they go to 3-4. The Seahawks record to 4-4. For Tim Ryan and Chris Myers, our entire crew, you're watching the NFL on Fox.